Heavy Metal Invasion. My name is Steve. Coming up today, I'm going to be doing a review of the new Ozzy Osbourne album, Patient Number 9, plus also ranking the top 10 studio albums from Ozzy Osbourne. Alright, but first up, a review of the new albums that's just came out. This actually arrived on my door yesterday morning, Friday morning. I pre-ordered it. Don't normally pre-order, and I don't normally buy CDs. I'm much more into getting vinyl. But there was a deal offered by JB Hi-Fi where if you pre-ordered it, you would get an autographed copy. So I thought that was pretty cool. So so I signed up for that. So it is on CD though only, but it was nice to get it on the day, physical copy on the day, and autographed. A little bit disappointed that the autograph is basically just something that slips into the Digipack. So it's just this piece of card here with Ozzy Osbourne Patient Number 9. There is a signature. Yeah, and like I say, I don't normally buy CDs. If I don't buy the vinyl, I usually stream or download. But it's good to have, nice to have. I'll probably end up buying the vinyl at some point. So that means I must like it. Well, let's get into it. So, really, really love the first single, Patient Number 9, the title track, featuring Jeff Beck on guitar. Really love that one. I did a review a couple months ago when that song was released, and it gave me a lot of hope for the album. Because the last album, Ordinary Man, I don't actually even own a physical copy of. It's the only Ozzy Osbourne album I don't have a physical copy of. Because it was a little bit disappointing. Now, I'm not saying I don't like some songs on it, but, to be honest, and I probably will pick it up at some point, but I just, if I can pick it up cheap, yeah, but otherwise for, a couple of songs on it that I quite liked, it just didn't seem worth it. But like I say, it's the only one Ozzy Osbourne album I don't have a physical copy of, and the only one I've sort of been a little bit disappointed in. So I was hoping this one might be a little bit better. It's the same producer, Andrew Watt, and this time he's kind of gone for having a few special guests on the guitar, especially. Patient Number 9, great start, great song. Still really like that song since it was released a couple months ago. Then, interestingly, Mike McCready from Pearl Jam is the guest guitarist on the second track, Immortal, which is another great song. Heavy, rocks hard, and so, that's tracks 1 and 2 of the album. It's a great start, so really pleased with that. And then also Parasite, also a rocking album, a rocking song, and so that's 3 in a row. And they're all 3 are really good songs. So when I first started playing the CD, and I heard those first 3 songs, I thought this is a really, really promising start. Ozzy sounds good. Like I say, the songs are awesome. So really enjoying it up to that point. I was a little bit worried that maybe we're going to get into a situation where there'll be a whole run of slow songs, and unfortunately that is what started to happen from track 4. Now, in saying that, some of the songs do pick up their pace once they sort of get to a chorus, and there's some nice guitar solos. But from track number 4, No Escape From Now, which features Tony Iommi, all the way through to track 8, Nothing Feels Right, they all start off quite soft and slow. They might build up sometimes in the choruses, but they're not really cranking up the guitars like Ozzy used to in the 80s. Usually start off with a really hard, heavy riff. None of those songs start like that. That's not to say they're bad songs. No Escape From Now featuring Tony Iommi. Obviously, it's Tony Iommi on guitar. It does sound a little bit Black Sabbath at times. One of These Days featuring Eric Clapton. There's just been a video release for that one. It's catchy. I'm not sure lyrically. I'm not sure I really like it, but yeah, it's very catchy chorus. Very catchy chorus. And again, catchy chorus doesn't necessarily make it a good song, but definitely I've been sort of singing that chorus to myself a little bit. And Mr. Darkness I liked. It's a slower song. That features Zakk Wylde. Yeah, but I've been enjoying that one. So like I said, tracks 4 through to 8, not that heavy. It does pick up the pace a little bit for Evil Shuffle, but for me it's a bit of a filler. It's a rocky track, but it's a bit of a filler rock track. It's just okay. Now, Degradation Rules, get another Tony Iommi track. Now that's been released prior to the album. And I didn't like that as much as the first single. Again, it's a little bit Black Sabbathy, of course, with Tony on there on guitar. Not a bad song, but and the harmonica is a nice touch. But yeah, I just the Ozzy using the harmonica on that one. But I just think again, would Ozzy Osbourne in the '80s have got the harmonica out? I'm not sure. And the reality is for me, I'm more of an Ozzy Osbourne fan than a Black Sabbath fan, and I'm more of an '80s Ozzy Osbourne fan. So yeah, I know some people are going to like it, and that's cool. But yeah, for me, it's so. But yeah, no, I mean, not bad, not bad. And I'd probably say the same again for the next track, Dead and Gone. More of a classic Ozzy Osbourne type of song. The heavy guitar in that song actually reminds me a little bit of No More Tears. Have a listen to that when that heavy guitar comes in. Just reminds me a little bit of the song No More Tears. Yeah, God Only Knows, the second to last song. Yeah, that's to be honest with you, that really bored me, really boring. Sorry, yeah, not a lot, not into that song that much at all. And Dark Side Blues is just a sort of not really a proper song, really. It's just yeah, it's a very short sort of song to finish off with that is pretty simplistic, and yeah, you'll know what I mean if you hear it. So I wouldn't even really bother making comment on that one. Yeah, so all in all, I'm probably going to say 3 out of 5 would be my score at the moment. It's getting close to 3.5 out of 5, and maybe over time it will get to that. But then also sometimes over time you can reassess it, and it can go the other way. You can go, actually, no, I think it's actually, maybe it's going to lose half a star. I don't think it's going to go any less than 2.5. I don't think it's going to go any more than 3.5. At the moment, I'll just give it a 3 out of 5. So better than the last album, but for me, not better than anything he put out in the '80s. Yeah, and let's have a look then at some of his other studio albums. Let's have a look at his what for me is his top 10 studio albums. Okay, so this was number 13. I'm not going to count this one because I feel it's just come out. No way I'm going to try and rank that yet. So there's 13. That counts the covers album. So as one of the studio albums. So there's I'm going to do a top 10. Right. So there's a couple of albums that are going to miss out. For me, at number 10, it's going to be Scream. Gus G on guitar for this one. There's a couple of good songs, Let It Die, Let Me Hear You Scream, really good starts to the album. I think it fades away a little bit. There's a couple of other songs on there I don't mind. Yeah, but I think it's interesting that after this album, it was quite a long wait until Ordinary Man came out. So this came out in 2010. So, and then Ordinary Man a couple of years ago. So, yeah, Gus G didn't really stick around for too long. But I think it's quite an acceptable album. I enjoy it. I enjoy playing it. I'd quite like to get it on vinyl at some point. But yeah, no, it's number 10 on my top 10, but that doesn't make it bad. Look, for me, Ozzy's one of my favorite artists. He's one of the few guys who has produced albums, that I like. He's still putting out albums I like, and over a long period of time. There's not many people who are putting out albums in the '80s that I liked in the '80s. Put out albums in the '90s that I liked. It's put out albums in the 2000s that I like. There's not many, right? Maybe The Cult would probably be one. Danzig's had some good moments. Yeah, there's not that many. So Ozzy's one of my top artists just with that consistency of putting out really good stuff over a long period of time. I mean, that's not even counting the stuff he did with Black Sabbath. So yeah, I mean, people talk about him being a legend, and he's a legit legend, no doubt about that. All right. So anyway, getting back to the top 10. That was number 10. This one's number 9. So at the moment, we're kind of working backwards from the release of Scream. The one before that was Black Rain. Nice that this was released on vinyl recently, so I got a vinyl copy of it. yeah, I like actually quite like the singles of this one. I Don't Want to Stop, Countdown's Begun. Yeah, I like those ones. There's a couple other good songs on here. Not a bad, again, just like Scream, not a bad album. Not perfect at all. There's some filler in there. It's another Kevin Chirko production. Kevin Chirko has done production on, quite a few modern rock bands, Five Finger Death Punch, a few other bands like that. Uh, and he has a pretty slick sort of a sound, very kind of commercial. And this is what this is a little bit, but still with the Ozzy Osbourne, um, sound. Yeah, I like it. Yeah, but again, it is at number 9, so it's at the bottom end, but still a good album. All right, number 8. I'm going to go with, and this is an album some people don't like that much. I think for some people it was a little bit disappointing. It was the follow-up to No More Tears, came out in 1995, and this is Osmosis. It's got some good songs. Again, I actually quite like the singles, Perry Mason, I Just Want You. The best track for me is Thunder Underground. Love that song, great riff to kick that off. There's also some B-sides too that weren't too bad. Whole World's Falling Down, which wasn't, which is like a bonus track. It's a really good song. But yeah, it does fade away a little bit at the end of the album. Again, for me, Ozzy Osbourne, when he does those sort of slow ballad type songs, not really doing it for me. It's just, yeah, I like his rockers. So that was number 8. Number 7, this one has some good songs on it. This is Down to Earth. So there was a bit of a wait for this one. I think this came out after the previous album I just showed, Osmosis, in 2001. And the one I really like on this is That I Never Had. Again, a little bit like Thunder Underground. Kicks off with a killer riff. Yeah, really good song. Gets Me Through, of course, was the first single. It's a good song. Yeah, and also I like Junkie. That's a good song too. So yeah, again, the rockers I really like on this one. When he slows it down a bit, not so much. But yeah, produced by Tim Palmer. I don't know, but he only did one album with Ozzy. But yeah, it's a good album. I like it. It came out in 2001. It's kind of getting into that sort of when new metal was kind of popular. So he didn't go all new metal or anything like that. This is just classic Ozzy sound. Good album. All right, so that was. It's hard for me to keep track when I'm doing this. Sorry, that was number 8. 10, 9, 8. Yep. So now we're up to number 7. And this one's going to be a bit of a surprise, I think, for some people. There's probably a few people who are going to be like, what is going on? What are you thinking? But the reality is, for me, number 7 is Diary of a Madman. So, yeah, it's number 7, but it doesn't mean I don't like the album. It's just, yeah, I do like the other album, some of his other albums more. Now, this is, of course, the second album and the second Ozzy Osbourne album, and the second one to feature Randy Rhoads on guitar. Over the Mountain, Flying High Again. 2 great songs to kick it off, no doubt about it. But for me, then after that, it's just okay. There's no real standout songs. I mean, I do quite like Believer. Little Dogs kicks off side 2. Yeah, it's not bad. But to be honest with you, yeah, after those first 2 songs, it's a little bit average for me. And certainly nowhere near the quality of the first album. But I know a lot of people really find it difficult to decide whether they like the first album, Blizzard of Oz, or Diary of a Madman more. It's like, I don't know, And then often they'll go Diary of a Madman. And I'm like, what? What? Yeah, there's no way. But, hey, everyone's got an opinion and everyone's entitled to an opinion. It's totally cool. All right, so, again, just struggling to count backwards. 10, 9, 8, 7. So this must be 6. Hopefully I am counting backwards correctly. So this must be number 6. Again, this could be a surprise. I don't know. It's one of his more successful albums. But for me, it was actually a little bit disappointing. And when I say disappointing, only because I really like the previous album. And it does have some great songs. This is No More Tears, number 6. Obviously, No More Tears, the title track, was a big hit. Mr. Tinker Train and I Don't Want to Change the World, the 2 songs that kick off the album, are pretty much classics of Ozzy Osbourne. I think it might be a little bit the production I don't like. Yeah, but it's very slick. It's well produced, I guess, in the sense that it sounds good. It just maybe doesn't seem raw enough for me. I don't know. And there's just quite a bit of filler, I feel, after you sort of get past those first couple of songs. And of course, yeah, No More Tears is a good song. Never been a big fan of Hellraiser. I know Motorhead also did that song, and it was written by Lemmy. It's okay. And Zombie Stomp, yeah, it's okay. Like there's okay songs on there. I mean, again, I like all these albums that are in the top 10. It's just I like some more than others. So yeah, that's at number 6. Now, let's just check here. 1, 2, 3, 4. No, sorry, that's at number 5. I must have miscounted somehow. So let's do a quick review. That's at number 5. That's at number 6. That's at number 7. That's at number 8. That's at number 9. Sorry. That's at number 9. That's at number 10. Right, now we're on. Yeah, okay, now I know where we're going. Right, so let's count backwards again. Number 10. Number 9. Number 8. Number 7. Number 6. Number 5. Right, and now we're up to the top 4. This always happens when I'm trying to count backwards. Very difficult for me. Alright, so number 4 is the first album to feature J.K. Lee on guitar, and it is, of course, Bark at the Moon. Title track is awesome. Rock and Roll Rebel, I really like that song. Those 2 songs are the big standouts, and then the other songs are just good songs. Good songs. Waiting for Darkness is pretty good. Now You See It, Now You Don't. But there's some songs on there aren't even that familiar to me. So I'm like, oh, what's that song? It's a good album, but I think the next one he did with J.K. Lee was better. And again, I don't know that Ozzy agrees. I think Ozzy's probably, this might be an album he was a little bit disappointed with. But I really like it. I think it's got better riffs on it. And the title track, I'm talking about Ultimate Sin, of course. Great album cover, the best Ozzy Osbourne album cover. The title track, Ultimate Sin, is awesome. But yeah, I also like Shot in the Dark. Secret Loser, Never Know Why, Lightning Strikes. It's a really, it's a good 80s heavy metal album. It's it's really good. And I get it. I get why maybe Ozzy doesn't like it and why some people don't like it. I do kind of understand it. But just for me, I think at the time that I heard it, and I guess I really like the sort of heavy riffs, and that album it kicks off really hard and heavy with a lot of the songs. So I think that's why I like it. All right, moving on now to the second on my top 10. This is number 2, Ozzy Osbourne, Blizzard of Oz. So it's not like I don't like Randy Rhoads. People might have thought that because I had Diary of a Madman a little bit low on my top 10. But no, it's number 2. I love the work Randy Rhoads did with Ozzy, but yeah, especially on this album, and especially the first side. I Don't Know, Crazy Train, Suicide Solution. Yeah, I mean, those are possibly the three of the best Ozzy Osbourne songs ever, and they're all on that one side. Second side fades away a little bit for me, but still decent enough, and yeah, very solid album, amazing album, released in 1980. Yeah, it's interesting the back cover because I've seen other versions of this album. It has a much different back cover. I can kind of see why maybe they changed the back cover. It looks like they've all just got back from the pub or something. Ozzy's shirt's a little bit undone here, and yeah, I know he needs to do up a button or tuck it in a bit. Pretty casual sort of photo, but yeah, we weren't obviously that worried about their image at that point. But great music, great music. All right, so that is all of them except for one. So obviously there's a couple I haven't shown as well because there's 13 studio albums. I've shown 9, but I think you're probably gonna have already guessed and probably be like, "What? That's your number one?" But yes, it is my number one. It is No Rest for the Wicked. Now, this wasn't the first Ozzy Osbourne album I ever heard. That was the first one I heard was Ultimate Sin, but it was the next one I heard, and I got it not long after it got released. This is just when I'm starting to get into, a lot of hard rock and metal, and this was, of course, the first album with Zakk Wylde, and it just kicks off with an awesome track, Miracle Man. Yeah, underrated song, I feel. Now, then it goes to Devil's Daughter, which is a good song. The solo by Zakk on that song, I just think is amazing. Crazy Babies, I also really like. To be honest, it's almost every song on this album for me is just a winner. Yeah, really like it. Breaking All the Rules. First side is just, yeah, brilliant. First side's got Miracle Man, Devil's Daughter, Crazy Babies, Breaking All the Rules, and I really like all those songs. Second side, not so good, but which is, I think, a bit of a common thing when I think about it with these studio albums, at least with the ones from the 80s, but still good, some good songs on there. And yeah, like I say, it's probably not a lot of people's favourite album, probably not going to necessarily make a lot of people's number one, but for me, it's a great album. Now, just before I go, just some extra stuff basically that Ozzy's put out. Because I love that album so much, the No Rest for the Wicked, I got the 12-inch single for Miracle Man because it's got a track that's not on the album called The Liar. So I wanted to get that. I've shown this before, but just basically I got this compilation just because it also has a track not on the vinyl version of the album called Hero. So it's got that on it, so I had to get that. So I've got all the songs that were released for that album on vinyl. I got this 12-inch single because it has a song called Don't Blame Me, which was not on the vinyl version of No More Tears. And it's a great song. I wish they'd put that on. It's a great song. I heard initially that No More Tears was going to be called Don't Blame Me, but I don't know. I could be wrong about that, but I had a feeling it was going to be the title of the album at one point. And it's a great song too. I could easily have seen that song be the title track for the album and kicked off the album. Back at the Moon, 12-inch single. I just got that because it's got a couple of B-sides, one up on the B-side and Slow Down, which went on the album. This one also has lots of B-sides, so it's got what I just said, one up on the B-side. It's got some live tracks. It's got You, Looking at You, Looking at Me, Looking at You, and You Said It All. That's a good B-side. Ozzy has put out some good B-sides over the years. And then, yeah, just a couple of live albums as well. This is not easy to get on vinyl, I don't think, but yeah, so I was pleased to get this live at Budokan. Yeah, it's Ozzy live. It's okay. This is his best live album, I think, and yeah, it's Randy Rhoads tribute, of course. Brilliant stuff. And I don't have the live album that he did, Speak of the Devil, but I don't know. It's all Black Sabbath stuff, but yeah, maybe one day. All right. Well, I hope you enjoyed my review and my top 10 Aussie albums. What's your top 10? Probably not my top. Probably not the same as my top 10. What's your top three anyway? That'd be interesting to know. Don't forget, always happy to see some more subscribers. So if you've enjoyed this video, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, leave a comment. I always reply to comments, and I'll be back soon with another video. All right, catch you later.